Hi everyone, welcome to the second webinar in our series, Business in the Future. Today we're focusing on guiding SMEs through leveraging opportunities in the digital world to grow their businesses. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, for those of you dialing in remotely, we are very excited to welcome you. We have an exciting agenda ahead of us today. For those of you who are attending this webinar series for the first time, my name is Yang. I'm the Managing Director for Xendit Philippines, a fintech company that provides payment solutions to simplify the business payment process for businesses from enterprises to SMEs. Like the panelists that we have joining us today, I found my passion for the fast-paced growth of the Philippines market after spending a lot of time working across other regional Southeast, East Asia, and even Western markets. So I think for us, it's for everyone who's here today, the panelists, me, we made a conscious choice to enter the Philippines market because we really believe in the growth opportunities that lie here over the next few years. And so we're really, really excited to share that agenda ahead today. What we're going to be doing is heading to a panel discussion with our three speakers for about 30 minutes, followed by a Q&A session. If you do have questions for our speakers at any point, please feel free to drop it in the box, DM me, whatever you want to do. We will forward them to the speakers and I'll ask them at the end of this program just to make sure that you get the maximum amount of value from the hour ahead. Let's start with a round of introductions. So we have with us today three faces. So we have Zhang, who is from Xendit, very familiar face. We have Macy Castillo, who is from Oriente, and Russell, who is from Ninjavan. So let's start with Rui. I'm sure our audience would love to hear more about you. How did you come to be at Xendit? Why are you passionate about leading our non-bank digital channels?
Yeah, sure, Yang. So a very good afternoon to everyone who's on the webinar today. I'm Ray, the Regional Product Manager of Xendit. So my scope of work includes new digital payment methods, mostly which are non-bank. So they include things like QR codes, pay later, and our e-wallet products. So just to add on to Yang a little bit, for those that don't know Xendit, we're a fintech firm providing payment solutions on top of payment itself. We also provide tools and solutions for businesses to automate their platform businesses, tools for fraud detection, and even data services. Personally, right before I joined Xendit, I was actually, I spent a good 4 years with Singtel, a telco in Singapore. During those 4 years, I had the opportunity to work with telcos in the APAC region. So Australia, Optus, Indonesia, Telkomsel, and in Philippines Globe. Through that exposure, I actually found myself liking the Southeast Asian markets a lot, especially in markets like Philippines and Indonesia. Super exciting. So I decided to find a company that I can actually work with and serve these markets. So super exciting times for me. My background is actually in systems engineering. Super passionate about product innovation and data. The topic that I'll be talking about today is must-have company tools for the digital economy.
Awesome. I'm sure our audience is really excited to learn more. What about you, Macy? Macy is the Vice President of Strategy and Special Projects for Oriente. I know you've worked across so many different industries in the Philippines, across Southeast Asia. How did you find yourself joining Oriente? What are some of Oriente's goals for the Philippines market?
Well, I think my background before Oriente was really more e-commerce. I was in the founding team with Zalora. I also started Shopee in the Philippines. But then, when I was starting, with the start of e-commerce in the Philippines, we saw all these pain points in terms of how to get people online. And once we sort of solved that on the retail side, the next big problem was it's very, very difficult to do any financial transactions online. So that sort of it was an organic, it was an organic move almost, because that was sort of the next problem to solve in terms of getting everybody, whether individuals or small businesses, digital. So yeah, so that's sort of like how I got here.
Awesome. I think it'd be great to delve into more of what Oriente wants to do for the Philippines market during the panel. Finally, over to you, Russell. It's really exciting. I hear that you lead all the new initiatives for Ninjavan. It's always exciting to head innovation at startups, especially one as fast growing as Ninjavan. Can you tell us a little bit more about you? How did you get here? Why the Philippines? What does Ninjavan do for its SME customers?
Yeah, definitely. So good afternoon to everyone in the webinar. Just to tell more about Ninjavan. So we're a tech-enabled express logistics company that offers the most reliable logistics solutions to MSMEs in the Philippines. So we offer a breadth of services to shippers, from last mile delivery services all the way to cross-border logistics for their overseas sourcing needs. And for me in particular, I graduated from the University of Southern California last 2018. And after graduating, I worked for a product manufacturing and sourcing company where I was really exposed to e-commerce and logistics, and fueled my passion for those two industries. So after moving back home, I wanted to work for a company that was really a trailblazer in these two fields. So Ninjavan was the top of mind. And so as soon as I got back, I worked under the office of our country head, working on special projects with him, which led to my new role here in Initiatives, where we work on business opportunities, startups within a startup, as you could say, for Ninjavan, finding the next big thing for the company.
Definitely exciting. I think that when you say startup within a startup, I'm sure it's even faster paced than a traditional startup. So I'm sure that every day is a new adventure. Before we launch into the panel, let's find out a little bit more about members of the audience. I think in terms of what we have ahead, let's see if there's anyone from the audience who wants to share. Mika Bayot, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Tell us a little bit more about your background. Why are you interested in joining us today? Anything that you want to learn in particular? Can we turn on Mika's camera or audio? What about in the chat panel, maybe? If not, maybe you could just, anyone who is in the audience today, why don't you just share a little bit about what you want to learn from our panel, so that we can make sure that our speakers cover it at some point during tonight's program. Really hope we're able to give everyone an answer to their questions. Remember, feel free to input questions in the chat at any time. I will forward them on to our speakers. Let's get right to it. So I think all three of our panelists, as we covered earlier, have worked, studied both in the Philippines and outside the Philippines. So I think we're all really interested to learn more about how this affects their approach to this market in particular. What insights, what experiences remain universal, and what sets the Philippines market apart? Let's start with Macy. I understand that Oriente has actually always had a regional vision, right? They're starting with Castillo right here in the Philippines, but also, across multiple other markets. What motivated Oriente to build and expand a business in the Philippines? What is the pain point that you're trying to solve?
So I think, well, actually, the funny thing is, I think it's across, as you said, we're across the region as well, and we're in the Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. One of the, in these countries, and I believe most Southeast Asian countries, most of the loan applicants and the ones who do want access to credit, are looking for access to credit, are rejected not because of bad credit history or even like low income or other similar reasons. It's mostly because there's not enough data about them. So these individuals basically don't have a financial identity. So, via, Castillo, which is our brand, and across the three countries that we're in, we continue to really help millions create this financial identity through and access to credit reliably via their phone and build credit profile online. For the Philippines, especially, our outlook is very long term, much longer term. We with all these setbacks, especially the Philippines suffering, with the new restrictions again that have put in place, we're seeing, we're still very hopeful in the next month, especially, with the resilience of Filipinos and even all these new, even businesses and small enterprises popping up. And that's also where we want to be helping all these new and, aspiring entrepreneurs to get access to the credit they need to start a business or build their own life.
Got it. And I think you've been now in the Philippines for quite a few years. Are you seeing any changes in user behavior or customer demand because of the pandemic?
Well, definitely everybody's moved online the past 12 months. Everybody's adapted to all these digital solutions in terms of, whether it's online shopping or even with this credit, right? So people are more open and adept at accessing loan credit applications online. But one of the interesting things as well we've seen is on the flip side, on again like these smaller businesses who they might be taking a more opportunistic approach with opening digital businesses, or even just sort of some people who wanted to switch into to a business from maybe the job that they've lost over the pandemic. We've seen that a lot more also very open to starting something new online, like starting a business, not just from the purchasing and buying perspective. So that's something that we're following very, very closely. And even on for Oriente as well, we're seeing a lot more on Castillo. We're seeing a lot more of our users tell us that these loans are for just to start a new business or to grow my small business. So that's a very interesting point.
I think that's definitely interesting. I think that, everyone's heard of the quarantine bakers and all these new entrepreneurs that have popped up. I think that what people, a lot of the SMEs that kind of existed before the quarantine are also starting to see actually growth in their businesses as well during the pandemic. So it's really interesting. What about Russell? You lead new initiatives for Ninjavan. I'm sure that's, again, really exciting. I think even the fact that your role exists speaks to Ninjavan's focus on adapting to new customer needs, right? Just as, Macy was saying, like customer needs have evolved over the last few years. I'm sure you're seeing that sort of evolution in the market segments that are reaching out and needing Ninjavan services as well. What differences do you see in the way in which Ninjavan approaches the Philippines market as compared to the other markets in which Ninjavan already operates?
Yeah, definitely. So the way Ninjavan operates, we really do invest in technology and innovation to provide peace of mind, convenience, and really ease in the whole process. So we take a very shipper-centric approach, obviously looking at what the issues that Philippine shippers in particular have, understanding their pain points, seeing how our core competencies and technologies can then address these problems and then create business solutions and initiatives to help address these problems of our Philippine shippers.
Got it. And same for you. Have you seen any shift in the user base, any customer demand shifts with that onset of the pandemic? I'm sure maybe there's been a huge uptick in volume because people are expecting more deliveries.
Yeah, so definitely. So Ninjavan really had to adapt to the changing needs of our customers that arose due to the pandemic. As a lot of people were stuck at home, there was still a big need for essential services such as groceries. And in light of that, we forged a partnership with Pure Gold to enable grocery deliveries that are fulfilled directly from their stores, ordered through their Pure Gold mobile app. So around April, we started with 3 stores, and currently we're at over 100 of their stores nationwide in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So we really saw a big uptick in grocery deliveries and wanted to fill that need and provide our customers with a reliable service. Aside from that, same-day deliveries as well saw a big uptick in demand with a lot of customers, a lot of these, like as you mentioned, mom and pop bakeries and small stores on Instagram, needed to get their goods to customers within the same day. And that's where our business solution of same-day deliveries came about, which we also launched amidst the pandemic last year. So shippers in Metro Manila can ship their items to anywhere in the metro for a flat fee. So this really gives convenience to these types of sellers.
Got it. And then I guess in terms of this shift in consumer demand, do you see this extending far past the quarantine as well? Do you think that's here to stay?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's here to stay because what this shift in demand has really brought about is a lot of people who have never tried these services, shopping online, shipping same day. A lot of them have been able to try it now, and they see the value in it. They see the convenience in it, and obviously with reliable logistics, they see that it could be seamless. They can get it on the same day, similar to going to a mall and purchasing an item. They can buy something online and get it on the same day as well. So yeah, I think definitely showing customers the value and the convenience will lead to sustained growth over the next few years.
Got it. Thank you so much. Maybe we can move on to the payment side of things as well. Rui, Xendit expanded its business, I know that all too well, from Indonesia to the Philippines in the height of the pandemic. And you're based in Singapore. So I think you've seen three very different markets at play. What do you observe in terms of a shift in consumer business behavior between Indonesia, Philippines, and Singapore?
Right. So I guess in all three markets, during this onset of COVID-19 pandemic, consumers, businesses, all of them had to change in order to survive under pandemic responses like lockdown, work from home, social distancing measures. I think these circumstances actually force consumers to very quickly accept online services, delivery services as a norm. So I think like what Russell mentioned as well, they have to do it. It's not like they can avoid it because they can't go out at all. So as a result, I think in all markets, we see like a big rush to go online. Especially in Philippines, we do see consumers shift very quickly to the usage of e-wallets compared to the other markets. This actually gave us confidence to launch our products in Philippines despite the pandemic. So the offline landscape actually changed a little as well. I think in Indonesia, we saw that merchants who are often handling cash started inquiring, started asking us about, hey, do you have the QR code payment methods available? Is QRIS available through Xendit? So I believe, although we don't have the QRPH right now, it's probably up on the roadmap soon. But this should be very similar in Philippines, where people want to avoid handling cash and accept payments digitally, no matter whether they're doing it online or in offline stores. So yeah, this big rush online naturally meant that they need online payments. Then thankfully, Xendit was actually well positioned to help these businesses. And at the same time, we managed to diversify our customer pool. One very good example, I think, was gaming merchants, beauty and health merchants. They all started moving online. And these are things that our services actually help them survive or respond to the pandemic.
Got it. What are some unique selling points of the Xendit e-wallet product? I mean, there are a lot of other, payment gateways here that also offer e-wallets, that also offer these sort of similar solutions. What are some unique selling points?
Right. So I think we can look at it from a few point of view. I think I want to start off with like the technical point of view. Xendit's e-wallet systems, we actually designed it to be future-proof. So today, we already have some e-wallets available in Philippines. You can integrate with us to collect one-time payments. But in the future, when new payment flows such as tokenization, auth and capture kicks in, these new payment flows will naturally be enabled on the same integration. So for our merchants or for businesses that work with us, there actually isn't a need to waste engineering resources to redo their integration. It's actually the same with new e-wallet channels. So as and when we add new e-wallets to our product suite, they will all be enabled through that same integration that's done by our merchants. On the business side of things, Xendit e-wallets are priced competitively against other forms of payment methods. So think of credit cards, for example. And also, I think our pricing is competitive against the same payment method out there in the market. So on top of that, in terms of operations, etc., we have built in automated fees deduction, fast settlement times, so our merchants can actually keep their financial operations team lean when it comes to doing reconciliations or any reports, etc. that they need. So maybe just a shameless plug here. I'm proud to say that we are the first and only payment service provider that's gone live with GCash, PayMaya, and GrabPay. Coming up in a roadmap, I think we'll be rolling out GCash and GrabPay onto our invoice page as well, onto our third-party platforms plugins like Wix, Shopify, WooCommerce. So we will be able to provide SMEs a ready-made payment collection method for those SME players who don't want that IT hassle or that tech team hassle to build their own UI.
Got it. Sounds like you definitely have been thinking about the needs of SMEs in designing this product. Let's ask our other panelists about how their particular companies have thought about SMEs and focusing on helping them. So Macy, a lot of people assume that Castillo serves individuals, and of course they do. But I hear there's a new focus in helping Filipino businesses. Can you tell us more about those efforts?
Yeah, so we found actually again during this pandemic that most of the ones affected and disadvantaged are SMEs, and this is due to lack of funding buffers and really the capacity as well to restart operations during this really strict quarantine period. That's on and off the past 12 months, and people don't realize this, but like. In the Philippines, there's about 99.5% of all businesses are MSP. So from your mom and pop shops, your sari stores, all the way to our businesses. And more than half of these businesses are led by women. And the largest share of these companies operate in wholesale and retail as well, which have been particularly impacted by COVID-19. So we found that women-owned firms as well find it even more difficult to access finance and credit. So among these, women-owned firms that we've looked into and have studied more closely, the average rejection rate for credit for these women-owned businesses was 44% compared to male-owned businesses, which was about 38%. So we want to help these, women entrepreneurs, well, entrepreneurs in general as well, but like especially women entrepreneurs who have been struggling during the past 12 months, by providing them more, like easier access to credit and providing more capital, as well as the tools to help them manage their businesses. So on the credit side, we have again like through Castillo, they can have access to financing for the working capital. But on the tools side, we have actually partnered with Wix, which is what Rui mentioned as well, the leading global website development platform, to help these small businesses really go online, especially those who are not served by the e-commerce platforms. So, and well, shameless plug, I want to take this opportunity as well to invite the businesses who are watching. If you do want to take advantage of, we're working very closely with Wix to provide these tools, and Wix to businesses who do want to go online. Do check us out, Oriente-Wix.com. So that's ORIENTE-WIX.com. And so here, we provide, help to set, we have do it for me services, for example, to help you get your website started. We do have financing as well for these, for the subscription fees for the website, so you don't have to pay upfront. And working with Xendit as well, we provide Xendit as a payment platform for these for these websites. So there's a lot of things that we're working on the next that you would see us in the next 6 to 12 months, where we're really as well focusing on the SMEs, because end of the day, a lot of these borrowers we have on the credit side are all mostly SMEs anyway.
Got it. I think that, in the Philippines market, access to capital has always been a pain point, right? So I think for you told us an address earlier to kind of find out more about the Wix efforts. How would you recommend that SMEs kind of reach out to Castillo to find out more about this sort of SME efforts?
Again, like all of them is sort of like on that website, but do ping us as well. The website is oriente-wix.com. But also like ping us on our Castillo Facebook page. We're on Instagram as well. But yeah, and check out our Castillo.com site. So all these websites we're ready to help you if you guys want to, are interested to whether take advantage of our capital solutions, our credit solutions, or our.
Got it. I think we'll send it out on the chat as well, so that any of the SMEs watching can definitely take a closer look. What about you, Russell? We definitely want to hear more about how much of the user base, for example, for Ninjavan is comprised of SMEs today, rather than individuals or enterprises. How do you take the needs of those SMEs into account when you're designing your new initiatives and new products?
Yeah. So unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to disclose the exact figures, but majority of our user base are comprised of MSMEs. In terms of finding ways to design products and business solutions for their needs, like I mentioned earlier, we really look at their pain points, understand what core competencies and partnerships Ninjavan has, and technologies that we could use to solve these issues. So like I mentioned earlier, same-day deliveries was one that we saw that arose during the past pandemic. Particularly how we addressed this uniquely is aside from different from the point-to-point apps wherein you'd have to book one courier for one delivery. Let's say you're a growing e-commerce business and you have 100 orders for the day. You don't want to book 100 different orders, right? So with Ninjavan's same-day service, first of all, the fees are predictable. It's flat fee. You can go all around Metro Manila, no matter where you're picking up from. So you could go from all the way north in Manila, deliver all the way south in Parañaque, then that would be the same fee. And you only have to book once as well. We could pick up using riders or trucks, depending on like what your needs are. And so that utilizes our existing technology and also found a way to address some certain pain points that we saw in the market. Aside from that, our partnership with Grab, who is an investor in Ninjavan, we utilize their Ninjavan is actually on their platform, and we utilize that their accessibility, the usability of their platform to enable basically anyone who has the Grab app to book a pickup with Ninjavan for nationwide delivery. So we're in there with the Grab Express site in the Grab app. Aside from that, we also wanted to address customer pain points in terms of retail. So we wanted to provide our customers with different sales channels and touch points. So aside from just conversing with our sales team, if let's say a customer prefers to go to a retail store to drop off parcels and have that face-to-face experience, the assistance from customer service, a salesperson when creating orders and dropping off orders in a store. We actually launched our flagship store in Angeles, Pampanga. So that's a flagship Ninjavan store. So shippers in the Pampanga area can go to the store. There's a packing station with all the needs that they would need, bubble wrap, boxes, and then they could also get assisted by our very well-trained staff in the store and basically have a very personal interaction. And these staff can also address any questions that they have. And so these were the needs that our insights team, we conduct surveys to understand like what kinds of products or services our customers may want. And then we then use these insights to create these types of products and services to address the needs of our customers.
Yeah, I think that's really great to hear. I think that in the logistics space, people always think that's such a stagnant industry because logistics have been around forever. But I really feel like I've seen so many more, leaps and bounds in terms of product improvement over the last just year or so as well. I think it's really exciting to hear about how, all three of our panelists are using these sort of regional insights and previous experience to build products that cater specifically to these all very distinct problems in this market. I wanted to talk a little bit more about how SMEs can navigate challenges specific to this market in order to leverage the enormous opportunities ahead. I mean, we all know they exist, but I think that there are definitely challenges as well that we need to address kind of upfront. So I think the first question is for Rui. I know that you're confident that the Xendit products can help SMEs in particular, but how can SMEs leverage these sort of other existing elements of the Philippines market and then grow their business, not just enable a collection of payments, but even kind of scale and grow from there?
Right. So I think when we talk about leveraging like existing elements of Philippines market, I think we need to kind of think about what's the key to success for most of the SMEs. I personally think that for SMEs to succeed is actually in speed to market. So right now, I think in the tech scene for most Southeast Asian markets, there are a lot of services coming out, a lot of tech solutions coming out. I would suggest for SMEs to actually keep their tech and operations lean, leverage on the existing platforms rather than trying to do everything on their own to serve their digital experiences. So I think, like we mentioned previously before, Wix, Shopify, WooCommerce, those are very good examples for e-commerce platforms. Partners like Ninjavan, for example, logistics, those are good examples. So even in Xendit, when customers work with us, a lot of our focus is to reduce the tech loads, reduce operation loads for our merchants to help them keep up with the latest payment channels, or to help them operate, or tools to help them reduce like operations burdens, things like automation, reconciliation, or even like ready-made interfaces on our plugins on the e-commerce platforms. So I really think right now it's a time to really look at the market to see what kind of services people are providing out there at low cost, at a certain cost structure that's suitable for your business at the level of scale it is. So you don't need premium solutions for a simple solution. So I think because of the growing tech scene, a lot of the solutions are in the market. It's just a matter of sourcing and making sure that you find the right solution for your problem.
Got it. I think that, the more core than, payments is also just physically receiving the item, right? And so I think for Russell, you probably have some really key insights into what the biggest driver of growth or point of differentiation you have seen in terms of SMEs who have been able to thrive and scale in the Philippines. How does Ninjavan try to support this? I know you mentioned earlier that you've kind of come up with some new products that answer these like pain points, but also what about the scaling and growing phase? How does Ninjavan support that as well?
Yeah. So in terms of differentiation, something that really a lot of successful e-commerce businesses have is a great product differentiation. And so really being able to show the Philippine market unique products that will really stick to them and that they connect with is really key, right? And so we have one of our main products that we're pushing, Ninja Direct. So basically, it's our overseas sourcing product, wherein we can help connect shippers with suppliers in China, Thailand, and we'll handle the sourcing, the importation, all the way to delivery to their doorstep. So having a really accessible, affordable, and convenient way to source goods overseas will really help a lot of the shippers differentiate themselves from the others in the market and really fuel that growth. And of course, aside from having a great product, they also need to have other great operations and back end to support this. And so let's say if they have a Shopify website wherein they sell these goods, they can then integrate this seamlessly with their Ninjavan dashboard. And to also support these product sourcing needs, they also need to have a really good cash flow. So one of the products that we have to support cash flow for our shippers is COD Advance, which we actually work with Xendit to power. So our COD Advance product allows shippers to get their COD, basically their revenue, on the very next day after their items are picked up, rather than having to wait a couple of days for the item to get delivered before they get their COD. So this really eases the burden for a lot of our shippers to be able to get their revenue quickly, and then they can use this to fund the day-to-day operations of their business, or invest in products overseas, anything to grow their business, basically. And lastly, they can work with Ninjavan to have reliable and affordable delivery service to their customers.
Yeah, it seems like it's a common theme amongst, for SMEs here, the ability to have access to capital or access to working capital right away. I think that the solutions that Oriente is working on, the solutions that Ninjavan is offering in terms of this sort of advanced COD are really, really important, because I think working capital is everything when you're an SME. So Macy, can you actually tell us a little bit more as well? What is one thing that you think can help SMEs rapidly scale their business growth or minimize inefficiencies in this business process?
Well, I think here in the Philippines, we're also quite lucky that we do have access to several tools and solutions, or the choice, the selection is growing in terms of tools that are available to these SMEs. But I think one of the biggest things that have hindered them from really growing, or at least maximizing, optimizing their operations, is that there's no seamless solution that goes end to end. In terms of they might use one specific tool to do to take orders, then have to switch over to ordering, booking a pickup, for example, if they're not on a platform. So these are the things that we do still need to improve on in terms of having more seamless operations, and then all the way to the back end, even managing their employees if they're more than a one-man team, and then also making sure that their books are in order and their accounts are in order, and that if they do need access to credit, are able to secure that at once, because they're very on top of all their accounts. Those are things that we're seeing that haven't been really solved yet, at least from a very easy, seamless point of view. So again, like we emphasize our mission for this year is really to provide all our users easier access to credit and the right tools to run their business. And when I say right tools, you might be seeing all these like really fancy solutions as well out there that you think you might need, especially for a small business. So what we're doing as well, like with the Wix partnership, and there are other partnerships that are coming up for us in the next year that we're really excited to announce very soon, is that we're picking the right partners for these markets. So it's not like we don't want to bring a Ferrari to like a Ford market, for example. We just want very simple solutions to that will help these guys run their business. It's not so much that they need all these fancy tools. What we actually want to do is like very, very quickly use these simple tools and then spend the rest of their time growing the business some other way. We don't want it to keep on being on these on their desktop, on their laptops, or on their phones running a business, when they can sort of find other opportunities out there. So we want to cut out that time as well.
Got it. I think one of the most frequent complaints that I hear, at least, especially in the payments space, is that a lot of SMEs complain about lengthy KYC onboarding processes, especially when they're trying to secure financial services. Is there anything that Oriente is trying to do to address this pain point for Filipino merchants?
Well, yeah, so that's great you brought that up, Yang, because that's something we're working with you and Xendit very closely with as well, that we want to provide to all our SMEs in the next few months. We've started already working with Xendit as well, in terms of making sure that it's easy to submit all these requirements to set up bank accounts, to send their bank information, and or any other requirements to set up their Xendit accounts. And like this is a first step, really, because I've seen a lot of businesses really get bogged down by just having a lot of these documents that are required to set up, whether it's it's a payment solution, or some logistics providers also ask for a bit more requirements, and other any other sort of like tool that they need to use. There are a lot of requirements in terms of like the business documents and all that, which I think even for me, when I see these list of requirements, I'm not sure I have all of them, to be honest. So that's a big. And can you imagine like the other people who might just be starting out, or younger guys who want to like open their first business. So these are the things that we're trying to cut down on, these like to make it very frictionless for them to go on like online and ask for just whatever is needed to get their business started, whether it's less documents, or just quickly getting them online through that we're providing, for example, as I mentioned earlier, on the SME solutions online. So these are a lot of the things that we're really trying to get from 10 steps to 2, basically. So and that's what we're always going to keep on trying to do and optimize the next few months. We're not there yet, obviously. It's a work in progress, but that's really one of our missions as well.
Got it. I think that many SMEs would be very grateful to hear that. I think that, we also have been through a ton of different lengthy onboarding processes. So glad that someone's looking at this problem. For both Rui and Russell, similarly for you guys, have you seen any challenges or hurdles that are very particular to the SME journey in the Philippines? How have you in particular worked around that in your business? Let's start with Russell.
Yeah. So in terms of challenges and hurdles for shippers or SMEs in the Philippine market, some key problems that they do encounter are education, cash flow, and access to good products. So in terms of education, the way Ninjavan really would work to address this is by publishing articles on our blog, blog.ninjavan.co. Wherein we provide tips, information to our shipper base on how to grow their online business, how to run Facebook ads, like what are good products to sell in the market. So really providing education from a trusted source would be very, very helpful for our shipper base. Aside from that, cash flow, obviously also a very high pain point for our customer base, which we can address through our COD advanced solution, and also our product sourcing and cross-border needs through Ninja Direct. So just having all of these different products provides a really shipper-centric approach to how Ninjavan tackles the logistics market, making sure that when a shipper comes in on boards with us, we have an answer to every problem that they may potentially have, whether it be in learning about the industry, being able to have access to cash, and also being able to source good products overseas.
Do you have any examples of maybe Ninjavan initiatives that specifically kind of target these? I know you mentioned advanced COD to address cash flow. Any other sort of projects that you have either in the works or have kind of rolled out over the last few years?
Yeah. So in terms of something that we do have in the works, accessibility is very much something that we also want to be able to address. So making shipping and logistics more accessible to customers will help grow the market and have more users in the coming years, right? So as I mentioned earlier, Grab, being able to book us through the Grab app is one, but also being able to ship products through retail points. So we're currently working on partnerships with convenience stores to be able to potentially ship items through them. So if you imagine the density of convenience stores, that would make it very, very accessible for anyone to ship a parcel. Aside from that, we also have a partnership with Grocery, and so we've enabled their Sari store network within Metro Manila as parcel padala points. So if you're a shipper within a barangay, it's as simple as going to your local Sari store and shipping an item through there, and it can go nationwide. So really making it as seamless, accessible, and frictionless as possible. That's our goal in helping to address all the pain points of these SMEs in the market.
Got it. I think a lot of these, especially upcoming partnerships, sound really, really exciting. It does sound like Ninjavan is pretty open to partnerships and collaborations with others. How would you recommend that some of our SME partners or other partners who are listening reach out to you in order to find out more?
Yeah, definitely. So over in our website, we do have links to our email address where you can generally send any inquiries, and as well as our sales team. So our sales team definitely is more than open to receive these inquiries, and then they will point you to the right person within the company to be able to find who will be best able to address these problems. Likewise, you can also reach out to me. I can send my email address maybe somewhere in the chat link later on. You can hit me up on like LinkedIn. I'm always open to receiving any inquiries regarding potential partnerships, business opportunities, anything that will really help fuel the growth of e-commerce and logistics in the Philippines. So definitely more than open to receiving these. It's like up my alley. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Rui? I think that both Macy and Russell have spoken to some of these kind of hurdles to the SME journey in the Philippines. What have you seen? How have you worked around that in your business?
Right. So I think this really regards to payments point of view. I think one of the challenges that I saw in PH was that SMEs, they were having difficulties building payment systems themselves and integrating directly to the payment providers. So from our own integration experience, most payment partners in PH are still figuring things out. So payment flows, system-wise, how the interface works. These things change, and there's frequent deployments or changes of features to their systems. So this definitely impacted development timelines, speed to market, coverage of their payment options. And sometimes I think the more damaging portion is when stability or reliability of the payments system or payments processing are affected. So that is actually key in the payment space. So just my 2 cents, I think to really solve that, you have to work really closely and build good relationships with the payment providers. At Xendit, we actually take it further with some partners. We join their brainstorming sessions. We try to shape the systems together in the long run to build something that's beneficial for all parties. The other way is connect to a payment service provider, someone like Xendit, who helps to aggregate different payment methods. That way you can focus on one integration, and then the rest of the payment options would just follow. So on top of that, I think another thing that was mentioned previously was KYC, documentations, risk assessments. Every time you have to connect to a new partner, you have to go through an entire journey of legal agreements, managing the details that you send over to them to make sure that they approve it. They approve it for the different features that you want to have on your payment platform. So that part is tough as well. But I think something that I want to share on our end, good news is that for Xendit, we actually managed to work with our e-wallets partners, Gcash, PayMaya, and GrabPay. We work together to streamline the onboarding processes such that our merchants only need to go through KYC once when they connect to us, and then all these channels will be activated for them. So there's that possibility to help streamline these operations and streamline their speed to market.
Got it. I think time to maybe wrap it up and then think about what each one of our panelists are thinking for the months or years ahead. Maybe we can just start with Macy again. What lies ahead for Oriente? Can you share any exciting news about future releases, anything for SMEs to look forward to?
Sure. So yeah, we're definitely again, we're constantly developing all these solutions, both for the credit side and the small business side. So there will be products that are coming out the next few months. So please do watch out for it. Again, check out our websites, Castillo.com, Oriente.com, and Oriente-Wix.com. All the we'll share it over there as well as in our social media channels. And yeah, again, the focus for this year is really helping all these SMEs really expand and grow their business very in a frictionless manner. So we will we'll definitely be releasing a lot of products and solutions in the next few months.
Got it. In terms of Oriente's plans, would you be the best person to kind of reach out to on that front?
In terms like our plans, as in
the new
learn more
coming up.
Yeah, no, so yeah, so definitely do reach out to us on our Facebook page as well. So we do have a lot of experts, especially more on even on the small business side. You know, we can give them solutions there, you know, on a one-to-one basis, and suggest them what the best you know, next steps are, and next which product are best to use for their, you know, for their future plans. So for sure, like, please do take advantage of our social media channels and our website.
Got it. Russell, what about for Ninjavan? What kind of business solutions are you the most excited to add to your already expansive offerings? What is coming up soon?
Yeah, so definitely in terms of what we're working on in the next few months, it's first of all, it's improving on these initiatives that I just mentioned. So for example, with Pure Gold, expanding to even more stores, helping to address the need for essential goods all around the Philippines, which is, you know, key right now given the current situation. Aside from that, we're also excited to try to work out different types of packaging options for shippers. So aside from offering the standard pouch, we can offer different sizes of boxes that shippers can use to ship their items in, added safety for their goods and also predictability in terms of pricing. Aside from that, we're also thinking about offering warehousing and fulfillment potentially, wherein, you know, shippers can just store goods in their warehouse, in our warehouse, and then we can help them with fulfillment and delivery. And likewise, there's also partnerships with other retailers, malls, convenience stores, to be able to get customers easier access to drop off their items at their own convenience.
Got it. It definitely sounds like you're pushing the envelope in terms of introducing more technology into logistics. Will we be expecting drones in the Philippines anytime soon?
Well, if maybe they'll probably try to like pilot it out in like Singapore or something. It seems like it might be a bit easier there, but I mean, hopefully, I would want to see drones. You know, maybe as long as it doesn't cause any harm to anyone, it'll be pretty fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Super excited to see what comes up next. Rui, last one. What's next on DigiPay's roadmap for our Philippines SMEs?
Right. Before that, if you're trying that out in Singapore, please rope me in. I want to be one of the beta testers. That's pretty cool. Okay.
I'll probably be there too. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, back to the question. I think for my team, what we're working on, I think we'll really continue to keep up with popular payment methods in Philippines. I guess not just e-wallets, QR codes, pay later products. Once it's trending, it's getting popular, we want to be the first in the market to have it as well. On the other hand, for SMEs, I think we'll continue to roll out ready-to-use interfaces for them on our dashboard, on our invoice, on our third-party platforms, the e-commerce platforms, so that SMEs can do not have to take on the burden of building or investing in tech in order to collect payments online. So I guess the last bit is actually on not just on our products, it's on marketing as well. Xendit, we are definitely always open to co-marketing opportunities. I think traditionally we have had help our merchants push sales by finding, collaborating, or pushing for marketing promotions together with the e-wallets partners. So these are things like cashback, co-fund promos, etc. So that's what we have, and I hope you guys look forward to it.
I think it's definitely really exciting. There are now actually quite a few questions from the audience. So panelists, I guess, get ready. In terms of the first question, there's a question coming in from Miguel, specifically for Russell. Are there any risks that Ninjavan faces with the change in consumer behavior and fast growth?
So yeah, definitely. Thanks, Miguel, for that good question. So there's always risks involved with emerging landscape, and so definitely at Ninjavan, we always look towards using like our insights team to understand what are the pain points of customers as the months and years go by, and then use our existing technology, build new technologies even, and use our core competencies to really address whatever the growing demands are. Ninjavan itself, we're a very dynamic company, always open to trying new things, venturing towards the unknown. And so quite confident that even if there are potential risks due to the changing market demand, we're very well equipped to pivot to the right direction and meet the customer where they need to be met and address all of their problems and issues. Yeah.
Got it. Hopefully that answers everything that Miguel wanted to know. We have another question for actually all three panelists coming in from Lucky. If someone wants to start an online food business, how can Castillo, Xendit, and Ninjavan work hand in hand to help the startup have an edge to survive in an oversaturated market? So I definitely think that the online food business has exploded during this quarantine. Who wants to go first? Maybe Rui or Macy?
I could go. Yeah. So again, like we, on the online business, and we invite you, Lucky, to go on oriente-wix.com to learn more about setting up your own website. And that also means that we get to help you out with setting up your Xendit account, to accept payments. I believe depending on what items that you are selling, what food items you're selling, if they're a bit more perishable, I'm not sure if Ninjavan can already cater to food delivery, but if they're a bit more durable in terms of they're longer lasting cookies or something like that, I'm sure Russell can also speak to how they could service that.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can talk about that, in the future if ever.
I guess just to add on my end, I think for Xendit, a very important thing for businesses, online businesses, when it comes to payments, is about coverage. So you want to make sure that you have payment methods or payment options for your consumers that cut across a very diverse customer segment. So think of it in a case of, hey, if you only accept credit cards, then only credit cards customers can order from your business. I think at Xendit, at least, we provide a wide range of payment options. So you can actually attract a bigger customer base, or you can reach out to a bigger customer base. I think e-wallets in pandemic was a very good solution that many SMEs picked on because it's easy to register, easy to use, quite pervasive across merchants. So just with one type of payment method, you can actually reach out to quite a big base of customer. So I think that is something that you should probably look out for as a payment solution. Yeah.
Got it. The next question is coming in from Digital Life Asia. Joey would like to know, apart from consumers embracing the digital lifestyle, including online banking, online food and grocery delivery, and so on, one of the trends as a result of COVID-19 has been the rise of hyperlocal. Many people have become entrepreneurs, cooking food, baking bread, and selling this to neighbors. And many of us also prefer to get from our neighbors because it's convenient and we're helping out the community. How do you see hyperlocal impacting SMEs, for instance, increased competition and especially logistics? Maybe Russell, you can take this, and then Macy and Rui, if you want to address that further.
Yeah, definitely see hyperlocal growing a lot, right? And there's always products and services out there that can help address those needs. Similar to like Ninjavan, with our same-day delivery service, you can get your items to wherever you want. I mean, even if it was to your neighbor, even to another city, then we have the service to address that need. But aside from that, there's also a good way to like grow this, is to be able to also differentiate the products. So something that definitely will always be pushing for is, if you want to venture out of your hyperlocal market, there is a lot of ways to expand, outwards. There's a lot of potential if you can really differentiate yourself and offer your customers better variability in terms of how can they get their items delivered, not just limiting your customer base to hyperlocal. Definitely, Ninjavan is there to be able to support support you if you want to stay hyperlocal or if you want to go nationwide. We have all the options that you might need.
Got it. Rui, Macy, anything to add?
Well, I think, oh, sorry, go on, Rui.
No, please go ahead.
Well, for us, I think it's hyperlocal has really definitely gained a lot more traction the last year with COVID and everybody also, wanting that, not wanting to have to wait so long or travel so far to get what they need, especially when, you can help somebody out in your community. And for us, we're looking at that both from a more business perspective as well as from apart from the user perspective. So we're really working again, like on the tool side, we're working to localize and make sure that things like ordering for your neighbor or something like that is a feature that's integrated in the website, for example, that we're making. Click and collect is an option, for example. You can still order online, but be able to collect it, and your neighbors already have it ready when you want to pick it up. So those are definitely some of the things that we're able to, we're working on and are able to provide to the users as we go along. And because we're addressing and recognizing these trends as we move more inward toward the community as well.
Got it. Rui, anything to add?
Yeah, so just one bit. I think the first point I want to make is that geographical locations and hyperlocal and payments, and online payments, they might not have much of a direct relation because just payments online, you can collect them anywhere. So not geographically restricted. But what happened was that the profiles of customers looking for online payments have changed. So for example, there are a lot more Instagram sellers. There are a lot more stores that weren't online. They're just coming up to say, hey, I just want to connect money online. The delivery is just down the road. How can we do that? So I guess in Xendit, our hosted payment page, our Zen Invoice, actually help a lot of merchants do that. Completely no tech required. They just have to log into our dashboard, key in, hey, this is the amount that needs to be paid. Which email do I want to send to this? And then we'll just give them a URL. They can either send it via email, or they can paste the URL to their customers. So what really changed for us was the type of product, the type of payment acceptance UI UX that we provide for these hyperlocal merchants for them to accept online payments.
Got it. I think to close the program today, I'm sure all the SMEs would appreciate one last bit of advice. So in terms of automation and digitization, for each of you, what are your recommendations for some readily available tools that SMEs can take advantage of? Jump in anytime.
Well, for us, it's really, take advantage. I know a lot of people do want, do need a little bit of a helping hand in terms of getting their business kickstarted or going. So do check out Castillo.com in the Philippines as well to get information on getting access to credit to help your business start. So that's definitely the first tool that you guys can use that we're happy to help you with. And of course, as well, check out Oriente-Wix.com for to be able to see if you can, if you do want to get a website and for us to help you guys out, put it online.
Yeah, definitely. I think in our front too, blog.ninjavan.co, we do have a lot of advice there for up and coming SMEs. Or even people who are already in the game but want to know more about how to grow their existing businesses. There's a lot of advice there that you guys could look up on to see how to strengthen your existing e-commerce operations. From like a product standpoint, it could be as easy as creating social media accounts, using Google Forms to take orders and take inventory of your items, and then using booking seamlessly through Ninja and Grab for your deliveries.
Yeah, so tools-wise, of course, I'll advertise for both of you, Castillo and Ninjavan. Please check them out. I think there are other tools in the markets as well. I think accounting tools like Xero, CRM, HubSpot, e-commerce platform, Wix, Shopify, WooCommerce. I think these are things that you should definitely check out if you're looking to start a business. International products usually come at a premium price. So if you are able to look at some of the products that are created by SMEs for SMEs. So I think usually in that space, you'll find a lot of solutions that might be able to cater to your needs. And of course, lastly, check out Xendit for any payments solutions that you actually require.
So I know I promised you guys that was the last question, but I was just told that there's a new one that slipped in under the deadline on our YouTube channel. This is a question from Iqbal from Indonesia. He would like to know what business in the future can grow faster during this digital economy. So basically, I think he wants to know which industries you guys are the most bullish on. Maybe you guys can talk about it in the context of what you've seen in terms of the businesses that you serve. But I think he really, really wanted to get an answer to this question.
This is a tough one. It seems like everybody's thinking a little bit. I can go. Look, again, like we understand again the in terms of categories, there's quite a wide ranging thing. I think of course e-commerce and food are big businesses to look into, but those are the more obvious ones because of the platforms as well that are available, that are easy to are easier to set up. But there are a lot of services that we really believe in as well. That we'll see a lot more growth as we reopen. Whether it's all the way from maybe now it's not so obvious to like your salons or your spas and that kind of things, but all the way to even repair shops or maintenance businesses. So those are the things that we're really looking into as well. Those support services that will restart the next few months, the next year. In terms of if we're talking about so, apart from looking at goods and e-commerce, which is more obvious choices, do look into services as well. Those are big. That we're looking to see a lot of growth.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry, Yang, we were gonna say.
I was just gonna say, anyone else want to jump in and give a counter opinion?
Yeah. So the question asked for specific industries, but I'd say that it's more about like the quality of service and how you're able to improve on all your existing customer touch points, right? So any industry would have a great chance to succeed if they're able to innovate on the way they're doing businesses. So this means if you're a retailer, brick and mortar retailer, find ways to go online. If you're if you want to be able to send payments, maybe improve your business operations, find payment providers such as Xendit to really just improve your operations. So it's really just finding ways to digitize the different platforms, the different aspects of your business, overall increasing the service level quality to your customers and also decreasing costs potentially, which you can pass on to your customers as savings to them. And overall, this will help fuel growth no matter what industry you're in.
Got it. Rui, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I guess most of the points are covered, I feel. I'll just say what we actually observed during this pandemic. It all started, travel, etc. All these industries crash. I think if this environment continues, a very good industries to be is definitely gaming. We see crazy growth in gaming sector. There's also online services for SMEs that are coming out as well. So we see crazy growth in those accounting services, things that help businesses take their businesses go online, or businesses maintain their business online, or just digital solutions. I think those are things that would definitely continue to scale.
Got it. Thanks you so much for coming to our webinar event, and thank you so much to our panelists for taking the time to share their valuable insights today. Really enjoyed my conversation with you guys, and I hope that the audience learned something. Please do follow the Xendit Philippines Instagram page. It's at xendit.ph. for more updates on our products and more events like these. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and hope to see you guys again soon.
Bye.